You ever come home late, hungry, and have to make a meal with whatever scant ingredients you have lying around? So you dig up some cheese, some toast, some butter, and sometimes you actually get a pretty good meal. Other times you get Cannibal Campout, because instead of cheese, toast, and butter, you open the fridge and find some paint, some plywood, and a lawn chair, because that is all you have to work with. And that is tonight's dinner, because Cannibal Campout is just a masterclass in saving money. Not in doing more with less, but just having less. Because as it turns out, saving money is pretty easy to do when you don't have very much in the first place. But as we're about to see, this movie's lack of resources may have done more for its reputation than any amount of money ever could.
Straight to video.
And this already looks like shit. Alright, first thing to notice, which you probably already did, this movie was shot on a camcorder. You know, that thing that your aunt used to film your graduation was used to film this movie. Now, when I make these videos, for the sake of nostalgia and to keep YouTube happy, I like to use this frame. But in honor of Camcorder Campout, we're gonna do something just a little bit different. There. You know, camcorder or not, this could be good. I mean, Chariots of Fire began the same way. Alright, maybe not quite as good, but let's go back for a second. Yeah, by 1988, all the good masks were taken, so if you wanted your killer to have one, it was pretty much whatever was left over, and I guess Cannibal Fighter Pilot was still up for grabs. By the way, great welcome sign. Sure hope this incident won't affect their tourism. Alright, quick establishing kill, and now for some quick setup. Here we meet John and Carrie, who are discussing their upcoming camping trip to the town of Redston. Yes, the tranquil one. We have this guy here to deliver a little ominous warning.
You guys are going up to Redston? Wasn't that where the family disappeared a month ago? And the cops found their station wagon and all their stuff soaked in blood, and they never found the bodies?
What? I never heard about that.
Yeah, it was on the news.
Remember those days, back when the other kids could just make shit up that you had no ability to fact check, and whose only corroboration was, I saw it on the news? Simpler times. That's Ray. Remember him for later, and if you can't remember his name, no problem, because you will definitely remember that haircut. Pair an ominous warning with some naive optimism.
You know, we're gonna have so much fun. I have a feeling this is gonna be a weekend we are never gonna forget.
And you've got yourself a story. Careful with that exterior shot. You've still got to return that camera. But our victim pool is still a couple characters short, so on the way up to Redston, we catch up with Chris and Amy. The group soon find themselves in a little low-speed dirt road rage incident when John becomes frustrated that this Cadillac Eldorado isn't quite so fast off-road.
What's the problem?
Apparently you are.
Hey, baby. You suck my cock and I'll lick your pussy.
Interesting fact, this guy would eventually go on to become Tinder.
I don't think I like you anymore. How'd you like me to staple your tits to the rope?
Oh wait, no, he would eventually go on to become Craigslist. Look, I don't want to say who can or can't be a hillbilly cannibal, but why does he sound like that?
Lay off your fucking horn, asshole.
This is like if Deliverance was set in New Jersey. Hillbilly cannibals aren't exactly known for their de-escalation techniques.
What's that, smart mouth?
Nor are they exactly known for letting things go, so I have a feeling we'll be seeing them again soon. The group make their way to the campground, which is apparently wherever you want it to be. And the cannibals make their way back to their own den, known as the Smokehouse. Though, again, based on Rich's accent, I'm guessing it's called, like, Eddie's Smokehouse. Since 1942. Best in the city!
How's dinner coming, Joe?
Alright, stop. When you see a prop like that, that is a movie's way of saying that they have just given up, that they are not even going to put up a fight in the first place, that they have dropped out of the race the moment the starting gun went off. So no, this is not Chariots of Fire.
You guys can never be on time for anything, can you?
Again, why does he sound like that? You know, Joe might be the most convincing cannibal here. Because we can't see or hear him, the movie doesn't have an opportunity to make him look and sound completely wrong. Alright, remember the bullshitter from earlier?
The cops found their station wagon and all their stuff soaked in blood.
Well, turns out he's a bullshitter and a prankster and heads up to Renston to deliver the punchline to his scary setup.
Besides, I got a surprise even you haven't seen yet in the car. Well, I brought a little costume along for the situation.
The guy is just a whole production.
But that's why I brought this. Saw in a movie once.
Saw that movie once. It's okay, guys. You can say Friday the 13th. I don't think anyone's gonna sue you, especially when they see this movie and see just how little they can get. But by 1988, he should have known. The prankster always gets made an example of, only his buddy is first on the chopping block.
Been waiting here for about an hour. Ray, what are you doing? Ray, put that down!
Huh. You know, I'm just gonna assume that the impact was so violent and so intense that the MPAA demanded that this scene be edited or this movie would never even see the light of day. Yeah. And he doesn't even go back to the spot where he left his friend. Instead, he strolls around this derelict cabin like it's an open house. And you can just tell by the way he's talking, he's not a serious buyer.
Not bad. For what? I don't know, but it's not bad. Comfortable.
Like I said, all the good masks were taken. So Gene jumps out and does what every realtor wishes they could do to a guy like Ray. Meanwhile, Rich gets a little soliloquy time.
What do they do now? They hunt? You listening to me? Hello? I wonder why they don't just leave me alone.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a cannibal. I got a cousin Joey. He's a cannibal too. We're all cannibals here. The meanest cannibals on 45th Street.
Now the fun thing about movies shot on a camcorder is they all have that lo-fi PSA vibe the teacher used to fire up in middle school. Here we have one about smoking, when Carrie goes off on her own to take a drag and is forced to confront the dangers of smoking that they all warned us about. And Carrie gets one of those death by implication. You know, the death scene that gets turned into a word problem? If Gene has a machete, and Carrie has a neck, and machetes are sharp, then what happened to Carrie's neck? This movie is kind of like a Papa Murphy's pizza. You gotta do some of the work yourself. In any case, looks like they found their next meal, and careful with that suit. Again, I'm pretty sure you have to return it. When Carrie doesn't come back in time, the group go out looking for her and...
Carrie? 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 Carrie! 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 Listen, have you seen Amy?
Have you tried repeatedly calling her name?
Carrie! 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 Carrie!
They split up, but here's what's a little unusual. They reconvene again when they are captured and tied up.
Joe, it's been a while since you had any combat practice.
Interesting to note, this actually came out a year before American Gladiators. Alright, John's down and out. So here's the thing about being an ultra low budget horror movie. You may as well go into the cannibal subgenre because it doesn't take very much for the effects to at least do the job. It just takes a little bit of hamburger meat and some red fluid, and it's not like anyone's gonna call you out on being anatomically inaccurate because, let's face it, I don't think many doctors are watching this movie. That leaves Chris and Amy, and Chris just cannot stop talking tough.
You don't know how fucking lucky you are I'm tied up. You're fucking lucky I'm tied up.
No, I think you're lucky you're tied up.
You're dead. You are dead.
Hold me back, man. Hold me back.
Chris gets a death by edit where his face spontaneously grows an axe. Amy gets hold of the weapon, disables Rich, and makes a break for it.
I'll kill you for this. You're dead.
If I ever see you here again, if I ever see you in this neighborhood again.
Joe unfortunately does catch up with her, which sets up our big face reveal, and...
Trick or treat!
That sends Joe running in embarrassment. Unfortunately, Gene and Rich don't suffer the same insecurity, and the movie here does something you don't ordinarily see. It kills off its last surviving character, a twist widely regarded as the most shocking since Alfred Hitchcock killed off his main character halfway through Psycho. I mean, presumably. But you can't end a horror movie without at least someone getting their just desserts. Literally, as Gene and Joe turn on Rich and carve him into a Jersey sub.
Well, that's Cannibal Campout, and... wait a minute.
John, Amy, Chris... whatever, it's fine. I'm guessing character names weren't in the budget.
Okay, that's Cannibal Campout. And really, I don't think you need me to shout into a camera and tell you that this movie is really cheap and really bad. But to trash this movie for being cheap and bad is not only lazy, it's also beside the point and kind of misses the bigger picture.
One thing I hope is clear by now, this channel is all about talking shit in good fun. It is not about hating. There is a difference, and this movie showed up to the campsite with nothing. Nothing but a few ideas and a whole lot of red syrup. This group tried to make something out of nothing and to do the most they could with what little they had, and it's kind of hard to hate on that. And while it is often unfairly compared to Chariots of Fire, it's not trying to be, and the movie's own schlocky cheapness actually winds up working in its favor. Because the more money your project has, the more expectations people will have of it, and the more shit you will get for failing to deliver. But when you clearly have nothing but drive and ambition to work with, not only do people not hate on your project, they actually wind up rooting for you, because you're like the little scrappy underdog everybody wants to see succeed. And that's a big reason why people, believe it or not, actually still remember and even talk about this movie. They actually had the balls to make it and get it into video stores. Of course, like most ultra-low budget dwellers of the bottom shelf, this movie is relying mostly on the cover to entice customers with a few dollars to spend and some questionable judgment, which, by the way, looks like a romance novel repurposed for cannibalism. And when that movie winds up being bad, you just feel ripped off. But when it winds up being this bad, you can't help but laugh. So really, there's kind of a lesson in all of this.
If you're gonna make a bad movie, go all the way bad. Nobody remembers a mostly bad movie that is sometimes somewhat passable. Nobody remembers that. But an irredeemably awful, atrocious, aggressively mind-melting piece of crap? Now that's something people don't forget. Anyway, that's all I have for tonight. Until next time, remember, making movies is hard. Talking shit is easy. See you all soon.